I don't agree with the Lombardic grace notes. The little note before the long note, yeah? This is very customary to play it that way. But I believe that Mozart always has written a Lombardic rhythm when he wanted it. Do you know the Gran Partita? Mm-hmm. Okay, it's our passage, clarinets and bassoon, second part of the first movement. It's written one 16 note, one dotted 8 note. Right? So, in other words, Mozart always writes out Lombardic rhythm when he wants it. So, in this case, I think two choices are or before the beat. Also, I have written about this in my thesis about the concerto that you got. Leopold Mozart in the violin school writes about this kind of passage, I say it now in German, so dass die kleine Note ganz gelinde in die große Note hineinschleifet. In English, so that the small note slightly glides into the larger note. So this is, of course, we know that Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart didn't follow the directions of his father through his whole life. But in this concerto, written in 1774, he certainly wasn't an influence of his father. That was his, you realize this was his first wind concerto, very first wind concerto. Written in June 1774. It was a very quiet, peaceful time in Salzburg. There were no travels at that time, no travels with a carriage where they were shaken for days and hours. So he was very relaxed. And this is one reason why the third movement is not some kind of but it's just a very relaxing minuet, because he seemed to have a very relaxed time at home in Salzburg, in the house that you can still see today, the house where this concerto was written. So back to the reality. Exactly, yeah. That's hard to do. That's really hard to do. This is why Leopold Mozart and Father Mozart described it so clearly. He said the small note should quietly slide into the bigger note. Slightly. That's the trick. It's hard.